So now we're going to just solve. 10 equals x times x plus 3. I'm going to simplify the left side. I'm just kidding, it's going to be your right side, depending on how this shows up on a screen. So x times x plus 3 is x squared, because I just distribute my x times x is x squared, plus x times 3 is 3x, plus 3x. And I'm going to go ahead and put equals 10 on this side. They're both positive, so it doesn't really matter what side it is. If they weren't both positive, then it would matter. So now I need to figure out, I need to make it equal to 0, because when I'm solving quadratic equations, I need to have it equal to 0. So because this is a positive 10 over here, I'm going to subtract 10. So that means I'm going to do minus 10, and this cancels out, and my new equation will read x squared plus 3x minus 10 equals 0. So now I need to figure out what x can equal. So I will draw my chart. A is equal to 1 because there's not a coefficient in front of x. So I can do this, my numbers need to equal up to negative 10, and when I add them together, it should be 3. This is all a review for you. So then I can multiply negative 5 or positive 5 times negative 2, and that will give me a positive 3. 5 plus negative 2 gives me a positive 3. So that means that I will have x plus a positive 5 times x minus 2. Okay, I hope you're enjoying your spring break. This is currently the last day of spring break, and I'm recording video lessons for y'all. You're welcome. So, this is Chapter 10, Lesson 4, Solving Verbal Problems Involving Quadratic Equations. So, all this means is, it's comprehension. It's word problems. And that is what y'all struggle in most as a class. And, I'm going to get y'all through this, so hopefully you can better understand it. For the most part, it's the same thing we've been doing. It's just now we're reading it in a word problem. So, Mrs. Baca's art class is painting a mural on the front of the school. The mural is 3 meters wider than it is high and has an area of 10 meters squared. What are the dimensions of the mural? So to find the dimensions of the mural, you have to write and solve an equation by using the formula of the area of a rectangle. Area equals length times width. So I'm going to go ahead and write that out. Area equals length times width. That's what you know. So we need to figure out our unknown. Our unknown is that we don't know how high it is, and we don't know the width. But we do know, we can say that if we use x as our unknown, we can have x equal the height of the mural So x will equal the height of the mural, and then the mural is 3 meters wider than it is high. So then our width would be x plus 3 because it's 3 meters wider than it is high. So that way we're using the same variable that in order to multiply them together. Because if we use a different variable, then we wouldn't be able to multiply them together to solve for our answer. So now I have my area equals, my length is the height of the mural. So I have x times my width, which is x plus 3. Wait a second, there's something else that I know. I know my area. It tells me my area is 10 meters squared. So really my equation is 10 meters squared equals x times x plus 3. 10 square meters. I'm sorry. So let's look back at what this question is asking us. Because we have two different answers, and we can't have two different answers because we just can't. I mean, what are the dimensions of the mural? We're not looking for volume where you need 2, 3 dimensions. So we'd have this dimension, and then the height of the mural. So we only need 1. So the dimensions of the mural, we can reject that it's negative. We can reject the negative number because the height of something can't be a negative number. So that means that this one does not work. And it's important for you to look back to see what you're solving for. So x equals 2 is the one that makes sense. So the dimensions of the mural, if x equals 2, the width equals x plus 3, remember? Because that's what we wrote all the way up here. And that's what it says, 3 meters wider than it is high. So the width equals 2 plus 3, which is 5. So my dimensions are 2 meters by 5 meters. And I'm going to write it at the top. I know I don't like when y'all do this on y'all's papers, but 2 meters by 5 meters. So that was problem 1, and if you notice that took 6 minutes, I know. So we're going to go ahead and go to the second problem. And now I need to make each of these individually equal up to 0 to figure out what x equals, because that is how you solve a quadratic equation. So I have x plus 5 equals 0, and x minus 2 equals 0. So to solve for x on x plus 5, I need to subtract 5, and this cancels out, and I'll be left with x equals negative 5. On this side, I need to add 2 to both sides because it's a minus 2, so I'll be left with x equals 2. Okay. So, if the formula d equals 16t squared, give the number of feet d. An object falls in t seconds. How long will it take a pebble to fall 49 feet from a bridge to the water below? I want you to pause this video and write an equation out. Okay, so your last step is to reread the problem. I'm sorry about the circles, I can't get rid of those. So it's asking, how long will it take a pebble to fall 49 feet from a bridge to the water below? So you have two different answers. You have 1 3/4 and negative 1 3/4. And we're talking about seconds. Well, seconds can't be negative. So my only reasonable answer is 1 3/4. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you. Okay, so you should have wrote 49 equals 16t squared because 49 feet is the distance. So now all I need to do is make it equal to 0. So this is a positive 49. So in order to get rid of a positive 49, I need to subtract 49 on both sides. So this goes away, and now it reads 0 equals 16t squared minus 49. Now I need a factor. And I want you to notice, a lot of you forget this, but I want you to notice that 16 and 49 are both perfect squares. So that means you can just simply find the square root of 16 squared and find the square root of 49. The square root of 16 squared is 4t, because there's two pairs of a t, and the square root of 16 is 4, minus the square root of 49 is 7, and because it's a minus, you have to do the difference of two squares, so then I would have 4t plus 7, and I'm going through this a little quickly because this is a review for y'all. I taught you this whenever we were going over factoring, your favorite. So now, I have 4t minus 7 and 4t plus 7. And because I have it now factored out, I can make these equal to 0. So 4t minus 7 equals 0. 4t plus 7 equals 0. So in order to get rid of minus 7, first I need to add 7. Add 7, and so 4t equals 7. And then I divide by 4, and t equals 7/4, or 4 goes into 7 one time, and then there's 3 left over, 1 3/4, which is 1 75/100. So now on this side I subtract 7, 4t equals -7, divide by 4, and then I would have t equals -7/4, or t equals -1 3/4. You can write a quadratic equation given its roots by working backward. From the roots, write the binomial factors, multiply the factors to write the equation in standard form. Write an equation with the given roots. What I mean is these given roots are the answers when you have a quadratic equation. So in order for you to work backwards, all you're going to be doing, if -3 and +5 are the roots, to work backwards you would change your -3 to a +3. So that means I would have x plus 3, now it's a positive, and then this 5 becomes a negative, so then I would have x minus 5. That's all you do to work backwards, and then you apply the distributive property and do FOIL. So x times x is x squared. -5 times x is minus 5x. 3 times x is plus 3x. And 3 times -5 is minus 15. So then I have x squared minus 2x minus 15. So this is working backwards, and it's actually more simple than working forward. So I want you to try the second one on your own. I want you to pause this video and try it on your own. If you need to, re-watch what you've done. And actually, that's the only thing I want you to do. And then tomorrow when you come into class, I will help you.